Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera to madam and my fellow friends. Today we are going to talk about social adolescence problem. This is an interesting topic to discuss because most of the teenagers are facing social adolescence problem. My name is Muhammad Firdaus bin Muhammad Rahman and I am a host for today's forum. And we have 4 guests in the forum today. The first panel is Nur Amira binti Ahmad. She was a student in SMK Sri Kembangan. The second panel is Azwar Naziran bin Adnan, who was also a student in SMK Sri Kembangan. The third panel is Muhammad Faizwan Iman bin Mat Fadil, a teacher in SMK Sri Kembangan. And lastly, the fourth panel is Nur Zahirah binti Baharudin. She is one of the parents who are willing to join forum today. As we know, most of the teenagers are facing social adolescence problem. Social adolescence problem is one of the negative factors that teenagers easily affected around the world. The increasing of social adolescence problem can cause a huge impact among society in our country. The biggest question is why teenagers are easily affected to social adolescence problems. Let's start with Nur Amira binti Ahmad.
The relationship between poverty and social ills is somewhat synonymous. In my opinion, unemployment is one of the reasons why some individuals are involved in shop robbery criminal activities, including taking the easy way to earn money in the fastest way. Not only that, based on previous studies, many social symptoms occur among underprivileged adolescents. Family background, which is a factor in adolescence, deviant behavior is due to low income of parents and children growing up in idle conditions.
The security of the economy can give an impact to the teenagers that can cause in social adolescence problem. Security is also an important thing to ensure the safety and conditions of the teenagers to environmental conditions. Azwar Naziran, do you have any thoughts why teenagers are easily affected to social adolescence problems?
Oh, thanks for asking me. In my opinion, while they are using the social media, it can expose teens to the social life, which is what they saw in Instagram, Facebook, and something else. The adult people will share what they do in their life, such as smoking, vaping, attend the party, hang out with friends until late night. The teenagers will influence to try what they saw in social media, even though it is not suitable for their age.
I think that is a good thought. Social media can cause teenagers affected by social adolescence problem. The spread of social media negatively will affect teenagers to do bad things. Let's move to Muhammad Faizwan. In your opinion, why teenagers are easily affected to social adolescence problem?
In my opinion, deep curiosity makes teenagers easily trapped in social problems. This is because they want to know and always want to try whether something is good or bad without thinking about the effect and consequence when doing it.
Thank you for your opinion. Acting before thinking is one of the most useless action. This can be caused that this action can cause us to easily deviate in the negative arena. Let's go to Nur Zahirah. As a parent, why teenagers are easily affected to social adolescence problems?
On my opinion, problems. Adolescent personality is greatly influenced by parental upbringing. As they grow up in the family, parental behavior is somewhat followed in terms of the disadvantage in socializing. Clearly, children are more likely to get caught up in social problem than their parents' upbringing. Thank you.
The content that have been told by guest members have explained a little bit about why young people are stuck in social adolescence problems. Now, teenagers are facing many problems that can cause them to social adolescence problem. The problems that arise can influence the minds of teenagers today to do useless things. Dora Mira, what are some problems for teenagers today?
Adolescents are generally involved in social problems because they want luxury, so they often stay together with their friends. The involvement of teenagers in this aspect is seen to show that the average perpetrator is employed while their parents have a monthly income between 500 ringgit to 1,000 per month. Nowadays, money is everything and living standards are also rising. I think that the parents of the respondents cannot give luxury to their children. Therefore, teenagers will still with their friends because they want to get rich easily without thinking about the consequences of their actions.
You are absolutely right. The source of family income is a source of change in attitude among adolescents. This is because they want wealth and have the right to do anything. Parents need to be responsible to form a good attitude for the children and not overly pamper them, because they will take this opportunity to do the things they want without the knowledge of the parents. Now, let's continue with Asfar Naziran for another idea on what are some problems for teenagers today.
For me, I thought the teenagers easily influence to what they saw in the social media. It is because normally by their age, they have the desire to try something new. They will try to imitate all the things that adult people do in their life. It also supported by the time that they spend a lot using social media nowadays.
Social media has become one of the very easy platforms for teenagers to make mistakes by using it. Social adolescence problems can be widespread if the use of social media can be reduced. Muhammad Faizwan, do you have another thought about what are some problems for teenagers today?
Another thing that makes teenagers easily trapped in social problems is term of socializing. Free association make teenagers easily influenced by friends, whether male or female. When free association occur, there will be bad things like hanging out, smoking, and will continue towards things like drinking alcohol, committing immorality, gambling, and more. This is due to parents who are busy working and do not have time to control the movement and behavior of children.
Thank you for your opinions. Habits among adolescents become a problem because they often have a negative attitude. The way they talk and behave can cause this problem to spread. Therefore, teenagers need to change their attitude and behaviors so that the problems involving them can be reduced. Let's move to Nur Zahira for her own opinion about some problems for teenagers today.
As a parent, the problem of teenagers today is the teenagers easily influenced by bad things. They will act cruelly towards their parents, such as injuring and even worse by killing. This is due to drug addiction to earn money. Yes, particularly those who are in their early teens who drinks put themselves at risk for many problems. For example, they face problems with the law, at school with their parents and peers. In the USA, drug abuse is a major problem affecting millions of teenagers, along with their parents and families. It is an imperative that parents, schools, media educate the young children about the dangers of drugs and alcohol, and how drugs affect their bodies. If they are taught properly, then they will be able to make an educated choice.
Thank you for your own opinion. Let's move to final questions. The problem of social adolescence problem can be controlled if all parties can play their respective roles. There are many solutions that we can do to avoid teenagers from social adolescence problems. Nor Amira, what are the solutions that can do to avoid teenagers from social adolescence problem?
Thank you for asking me. In this era globalization, we must change our attitude. That is, the attitude of choosing a job must be eradicated. We must also be good at venturing into the field according to the demands of the job market. To strengthen our skills, we should follow the retraining of graduates in various skills such as language skills, management training, and so on to meet the needs of the job market. Ideally, we should change the practice of the old paradigm, which is willing to be independent in carrying out work. In this way, we can reduce the unemployment rate, which in turn becomes a major factor for social problems among adolescents.
Attitude is also one of the factors that make teenagers easily trapped in these problems. Adolescents need to train themselves to create a good skill attitude in handling things wisely so that they can increase their knowledge of the importance of having a bright future. Asfar Naziran, do you have any suggestions on the solutions that can do to avoid teenagers from social adolescence problem?
My suggestion is the teenagers should think first by their own, which is the good and bad things to follow from what they saw especially in social media. They should less the time that they spend in social media because it is the best way to avoid from a bad influence.
Too obsessed with social media is very fond in teenagers today. Addiction to social media needs to be controlled so that problems involving adolescents can be reduced. Let's move to Faizwan. In your opinions, what are the solutions that can do to avoid teenagers from social adolescence today?
Among the steps to overcome it is to provide religious and moral education continuously according to age. This is because all religion call us to do good thing and leave all the bad thing. This aims to realize the whole personality in a teenagers. This makes a person more mature and know the good and bad of something that they do.
By studying religious knowledge, we can get guidance and can form a good identity. This should be applied among teenagers because learning religious knowledge allows them to know to distinguish between good and bad things. Nor Zahira, do you have another solution that can do to avoid teenagers from social adolescence problems?
In my opinion, what the solution to avoid the teenagers from social adolescent problems? For me, is fostering a good identity for them, such as helping each other, set a good example so that they are able to reflect on themselves and spend enough time for children so that they do not feel neglected. Offline, the gold standard advice for helping kids build healthy self-esteem is to get them involved in something that they're interested in. It could be sport or music, or taking apart computers or volunteering. Anything that sparks on an interest and give them confidence. When kids learn to feel good about what they can do instead of how they look and what they own, they're happier and better prepared for success in real life. That most of these activities also involve spending time interacting with peers. Face-to-face is just the icing on the cake.
Fostering a good attitude among teenagers can be used as an example for teenagers today. Noble attitudes needs to be inculcated in teenagers to do good things and will benefit them. Thanks to our invited guests who are willing to take their time to discuss the social adolescence problem. Hopefully, the information that has been conveyed by them can be learned by all of us. My dear audience, we know that social adolescence problems already increase all around the world, including our country. These problems need to be curbed by all parties so that teenagers do not get caught up in this problem. Therefore, teenagers need to have a reasonable attitude and self-control to avoid from getting caught up in these problems. That's all from us, and have a good day, guys.